Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the NCN's first great event in Bombay. And we are starting with, of course, one of the most important topics of the day. As technology goes on changing rapidly, it becomes a big challenge on how the whole ecosystem works. And we are lucky to have some industry stalwarts on the panel, and they have been already introduced. And I'd like to start with giving a very basic and fundamental definition of a value-added distributor. A value-added distributor goes beyond the traditional wholesale distribution, providing services that enhance products and offer great value to retailers and end customers, such as technical support, product customization, kitting, training, and marketing assistance. Unlike traditional distributors who focus more on supply chain and logistics and so on and so forth, a value-added distributor acts as a strategic partner in the supply chain, especially for complex technologies, to help partners integrate and sell solutions more effectively. In fact, the value-added distributor creates the supply chain sometimes, creates elements of the supply chain because it is so specifically customized. On the other hand, there is the system integrator, which is something which is there for some time. It's a person or a company that specializes in bringing together components and subsystems, which could be hardware, software, etc., into whole and ensuring that those subsystems function together in one unified whole. And a practice known as system, that is the practice known as system integration. They also solve problems, automation, and now both these things are driven by artificial intelligence, and hence the complexity starts. I would like to kick off the discussion. As you know, a good moderator speaks the least, and the panel member speaks the most. So I have a very easy job. So I'd like to first start off with Mr. Atul. Mr. Atul, can you please tell us? So what I had requested all of them is that they bring, because they run the business for so many years, they bring a lot of new use cases, new experiences of an ever-changing field, of an ever-changing market environment. Over to you, Atulji.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you once again for the august audience we have here. मैं कुछ हिंदी में बोलूँ तो चलेगा, है ना? चलेगा ना? ज़्यादा अच्छा रहता है कई बार. मन की बात ज़्यादा अच्छे से निकलती है. ऐसा है कि जो कुछ भी मैंने सीखा है वो आप लोगों से ही सीखा है. पहली चीज़ तो ये है. तो मैं आपसे जो शेयर करूँगा शायद कलेक्टिव विजडम है हम सबका. बट सुकांत सर ने जो एक बात बोली बहुत रेलेवेंट है. Then in our industry, the technology changes so fast. You know, every time a brand will come, AI became a buzzword, a couple of years ago. You go to any OEM, he'll have artificial intelligence in his presentation, something or the other. People will talk all kinds of, and I'll try and, relate it with each one of you maybe, because the idea is that you can take something back. Otherwise, यहाँ सब बोल के चले जाएंगे, खाना वाना खा के नमस्कार. तो कोशिश ये है कि कुछ ऐसा लगे, अगर उसमें कुछ मीनिंग है और हम कुछ कर सकते हैं, तो मैं थोड़ा बहुत प्रैक्टिकलिटी साइड में टच करना चाहूँगा कि और बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजीज़ हैं यहाँ पे जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं. जैसे एआई मैंने एक बात की, चाहे आप साइबर सिक्योरिटी ले लीजिए, चाहे आप सर्विसेज ले लीजिए, चाहे आप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ले लीजिए, चाहे आप काफ़ी कंसल्टेंसी सर्विसेज हैं, काफ़ी चीज़ में जो लोग कर रहे हैं. कोई जो हार्डवेयर ही करता है बिजनेस, वो हार्डवेयर में ही सोच रहा है कि मैं और क्या कर सकता हूँ. बट एरिया बहुत तेज़ी से इवॉल्व हो रहा है. नेटवर्किंग ले लीजिए आप, हर चीज़ में बहुत तेज़ी, स्टोरेज ले लीजिए, डेटा ले लीजिए, हर चीज़ में एवोल्यूशन बहुत फास्ट है. और हर कंपनी बहुत तेज़ी से अपने निश बनाती जा रही है. आप देखेंगे बहुत छोटी छोटी कंपनियों के वैल्यूएशंस भी बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गए हैं. आप स्नोफ्लेक जैसी कंपनी, डेटाब्रिक्स जैसी कंपनी, छोटी छोटी कंपनीज आई हैं. इंडियन स्टार्टअप्स हैं, कुछ फॉरेन स्टार्टअप्स हैं. इन लास्ट फ्यू ईयर्स यू वुड सी हाउ बिग दे हैव बिकम. My suggestion to you is one fundamental suggestion before we get into the technology space, that any area in your business where you feel the adjacency of the technology exists, आप उसको पहले अडॉप्ट करिए. कोई नई चीज़ लेके आएंगे, उसमें आप कोई बहुत अच्छा बोल के जाएगा, बहुत अच्छी बात करेगा, शायद हमें अच्छा भी लगे, बट हो सकता है हम उसमें सक्सेसफुल ना हो पाए उतनी जल्दी. तो बिजनेस एडजेसेंसी, कोई हार्डवेयर बिजनेस करता है, कोई सॉफ्टवेयर करता है, कोई सिस्टम इंटीग्रेटर है, कोई ओरेकल करता है, कोई सॉक रन करता है, कोई नॉक रन करता है. डिपेंडिंग ऑन वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग, there can be adjacency in each business, so that becomes very important for you. आपकी strength क्या, आप ये देखिए पहले. Your strength is your customer and solutions which you go and sell to them, your services, these are your strengths. Play around your strengths, because if you have your strength, आपका customer आपसे नहीं छूटना चाहिए, because he is the one. So how can you have more stickiness with that customer? Stickiness with the customer केवल प्रोडक्ट बेचने से नहीं आती. वो तो 4 लोगों को बुला के भाव दूसरे से ले लेगा, या वेंडर के साथ आप क्लोज रहेंगे तो वो डील आपको डाइवर्ट कर देगा. स्टिकीनेस उससे नहीं आएगी. स्टिकीनेस आएगी अगर वो कस्टमर आपके सॉल्यूशंस या सर्विसेज में मोर एंड मोर इंटीग्रेटेड है, या उसकी जो प्रॉब्लम है आप सॉल्व कर रहे हो. यू गेट इनटू हिज प्रॉब्लम. एवरी प्रॉब्लम इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, वी ऑल नो दैट, करेक्ट? सो इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज हिज प्रॉब्लम. नाउ आई एम टचिंग ऑन द VAT space a little bit more now, and I'll touch a little bit on each one of it before I hand over to somebody else. बट जैसे आप आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस ले लीजिए, आजकल सब जने बोलते हैं कि AI इज़ वेरी गुड, एंड लॉट ऑफ सम ऑफ यू माइट ऑलरेडी बी डूइंग एजेंटिक AI विच इज़ प्रोसेस ऑटोमेशन. कोई भी रिपीटेटिव टास्क होता है अपनी कंपनी में. जैसे हमारी कंपनी में इतने सारे ऑर्डर्स आते हैं और हम इतने सारे ऑर्डर्स OEMs पे डालते हैं, और हमारे यहाँ पे मान लीजिए 20 बंदे ये काम कर रहे हैं सिर्फ ऑर्डर लेने का और बनाने का और OEM पे डालने का. क्या इसको मैं ऑटोमेट कर सकता हूँ कि PDF से भी पढ़ ले, वर्ड फाइल से भी पढ़ ले, मेरे ERP से भी पढ़ ले, उसको लेके ऑटोमेटिकली एक मेरा प्रोसेस है कि ये जना चेक करेगा तो वो डेटा उसके पास एक चेक के लिए जाए, कोई वर्क फ्लो हो, कोई अप्रूव कर दे और वो ऑटोमेटिकली ऑर्डर चला जाए, एक्नॉलेजमेंट आ जाए. तो 20 लोगों का काम शायद एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का टूल बनाए, करके देखें, बेनिफिट है. हाँ, 20 लोगों का काम शायद 2 जनों से हो जाएगा, देन इट मेक सेंस. आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, लुक एट अ रिपीटेटिव टास्क इन एनी ऑफ दिस which is more to do with agentic AI. Agentic AI is nothing but automating a process. Pick up a process in your company and pick up, and you can do it. There are a lot of players. आप LinkedIn पे डालेंगे, आप Google पे डालेंगे, आप डालेंगे, 50 लोग आ जाएंगे आपके पास, हम देंगे सॉल्यूशन. आप देखिए, evaluate करिए, आपको लगता है that can be help. You can also take some of these technologies ahead to your customers as well. I'm saying look at your own businesses where you can do, but you can take those technologies ahead to your customers as well. And lot of people don't know. I can just tell you one very small example. My son is started his business. We are all always in service industry. उसने कुछ एक AI का 80-90 टूल्स कोई सेशन किया जिसमें 1.5 लाख लोगों ने अटेंड किया. वो सेशन 400 रुपये का सेशन था. 6 करोड़ रुपए उस बंदे ने बनाए होंगे जिसने भी उसने सेशन किया, बट ही डिड दैट. एंड आफ्टर दैट he got into specifics in digital marketing. आप ये yo-yo बनाना, and multiple companies are there. They are making EDMs on the fly. You can have correctors coming in, very good EDMs. हम पहले एक बंदा हायर करते थे मार्केटिंग के लिए. आजकल fly we make electronic data mailers and do all of that stuff. But he got into that and is now specializing in few tools, some 8-9 tools. Lowest cost to reach the customer. I mean, ultimately objective is lowest cost and get the business out of it. So he's trying to do something. But I'm saying look at adjacency in your business and you will be able to pick up something there. This is more to do agentic AI. I was in Microsoft office in Seattle and I can share with you that Microsoft के स्क्रीन पे agentic AI है. बंदे को अपना काम करना है, वो अपना एजेंट बना सकता है रोज के काम के लिए. वहाँ कम से कम 4,500 एजेंटिक AI की एप्लीकेशंस उनके एम्प्लॉयज़ नहीं अपने कामों के लिए बना रखी हैं, कुछ कंपनी के कामों के लिए भी बना रखी हैं. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने हमें कुछ 11 या 12 एग्जाम्पल दिखाए जो अपनी कंपनी में वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं, HR में यूज़ कर रहे हैं, फाइनेंस में यूज़ कर रहे हैं, कैफेटेरिया में यूज़ कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग जगह यूज़ कर रहे हैं. बट दे आर गुड एप्लीकेशन विच हैव कम अप एंड दे हैव कट डाउन द कॉस्ट एंड ब्रिंगिंग लॉट ऑफ फैसिलिटी ऑन द मोबाइल, ऑन द लैपटॉप. पीपल कैन चूज मीनू एंड वेरी क्विकली गेट ऑन. बट दे आर गुड थिंग्स विच यू कैन डू. जनरेटिव AI इज डिफरेंट थिंग. आप जेन AI का भी नाम सुनते हैं, उसमें यू वुड सी दैट लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स, हम चैट GPT बात करते हैं, परप्लेक्सिटी की बात करते हैं, मल्टीपल दिस, all these things are large language. Indian government is doing Bhashini project. Matlab, it's very interesting. I use that application. I go to Kerala, Malayalam to Hindi, Malayalam to English. You talk to him, it does. So these are large language models. ये जो हैं, जैसे बैंक्स हैं, जितने भी आपके क्लाइंट्स हैं, लार्ज क्लाइंट्स हैं, you will find सबका प्रॉब्लम क्या है, डेटा बाहर नहीं जाना चाहिए. AI चलता है डेटा पे है. डेटा आप जितना समझो, जितना पढ़ा लो, जितना रटा लो, उतना अच्छा बोल देता है. यही तो करता है, 4 जगह से चाहिए सीखता है. बट बैंक्स को या इंडस्ट्रीज़ को डेटा बाहर नहीं चाहिए. डेटा इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी. बहुत सारी कंपनीज डेटा में भी हैं जो डेटा क्लीनिंग, अलाइनिंग, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड बिफोर AI डेवलप्स. बट दे आर ऑल्सो डेवलपिंग लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स. बट लार्ज लैंग्वेज शुरू से डेवलप करना डिफिकल्ट है, तो बेस मॉडल्स अवेलेबल है, वो आप ले सकते हैं और companies can start using. You can head consultancy, you can do. I'm just touching some points, maybe relevant to somebody, may not be relevant, but this is the Gen AI which is reading and providing support. It can look at the data what you want to look at. It can look at the data outside also on the web or wherever you want and then give you some information. But that is an evolving space. आज सुबह एक टाइम्स इंडिया टुडे का आर्टिकल था, नोशन करके एक उसने लिखा है कि मेरी ऐप क्या क्या कर सकती है, काफ़ी अच्छा आर्टिकल है। तो मैंने आज किसी को शेयर किया, सुबह 5:30 बजे में उठा था, मैंने देखा तो जिसको मैंने शेयर किया एक कंपनी का CFO है, उसने मुझे लिखा गौड़ साहब फेयर एंड लवली ऐड है ये एक और ऐड आ गया। अभी काम कैसे होगा ये दिखाओ आप, ये सब रोज भेज देते हैं लोग मुझे कि ये कर सकता है वो कर सकता है, काम कैसे होगा ये दिखाओ। तो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ कि यूसेज तभी आएगा जब हम कुछ एक्चुअल एप्लीकेशन लेकर देखेंगे और करेंगे। बट है बेनिफिट्स, दिस स्पेस इज इवॉल्विंग, दिस इज कटिंग कॉस्ट, वी ऑल नो ऑल द गूगल्स, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट हैव कट डाउन वर्कफोर्सेस by 3,000. Computer engineers have been sacked by Microsoft in last 3 months alone, correct? So a lot of Python, Java, सारा डेवलपमेंट वो आप देखेंगे कोड वही डेवलप कर रहा है और कस्टमाइज कर देता है। जैसे मेरी प्रेफरेंसेस क्या है, मेरे को हमेशा डेटा टेबलर फॉर्म में अच्छा लगता है, ये ऐसे दिखा देते हो नहीं, तो वो सीख जाता है कि अतुल जी को हमेशा डेटा टेबलर फॉर्म में दिखाना है, तो मैं कुछ बात करूंगा तो मेरे को वैसे दिखाएगा। तो इट स्टार्ट्स अडॉप्टिंग टू योर प्रेफरेंसेस एंड स्टार्ट शोइंग डेटा द वे यू वांट. Just touching on AI a little, but I'll touch 1 or 2 more topics before do. Cyber security is another one you should look at it, correct? It's all about data, correct? Data की हाँ बात कर रहे हैं, डेटा पढ़ा के वहाँ डेटा हैक कर लेता है कोई आपका और उसके साथ काम शुरू करता है। उसमें भी बहुत फील्ड बहुत तेज़ी से एक्सपेंड कर रहा है। अपने हिंदुस्तान में ही आप देखेंगे तो I can tell you on an average the industry is growing at 22% a year on year. Very large base and it's growing very fast. And very large applications are coming. Threat intelligence ले लीजिए आप. Constantly there's a threat, somebody is trying to attack your system. लोग बोलते हैं हमने फायरवॉल लगा रखी है सर, हमने फोर्टिनेट की, सोफोस की, पैलो एल्टो की, इसकी फायरवॉल लगा रखी है। फायरवॉल क्या करता है, उसमें कुछ मैलिशियस सिग्नेचर्स हैं, वो उनको रोक देता है आपके नेटवर्क में आने से पहले। बट जितना डेटा होगा ना उसके बाद 1 लाख सिग्नेचर होंगे तो 1 लाख रोकेगा, 1 लाख एक कोई नया आ गया तो घुस जाएगा अंदर। तो I just learned that there are companies and they have all these companies, आप देखेंगे न्यू जनरेशन फायरवॉल्स आती हैं उसमें ओपन होती हैं। भाई साहब आप अपने भी सिग्नेचर को घुसाना चाहो, जैसे कैस्पर्स की अगर अपना कुछ घुसाना चाहे या कुछ है, क्योंकि वो ईस्ट वाले हैं, रशिया, चाइना, पाकिस्तान, इधर के अटैक्स मे नॉट बी वेल नोन टू वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड, यूरोप एंड अमेरिकाज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। सो दोज सिग्नेचर्स आर नेट new signatures. So you just plug it and the next generation firewall becomes more stronger. It's just a service. You added that. I'm telling you, the banks, all the large companies are buying and taking very small thing, but quickly. Security is one space which is expanding very fast. Multiple technologies are there. I'm not touching on it, but there's another area if you want to look at, because अगर आप हार्डवेयर भी बेचते हैं, सर्वर भी बेच रहे हैं, कंप्यूटर भी बेच रहे हैं, नेटवर्क स्टोरेज कुछ भी बेच रहे हैं, फ्रॉम अ सिक्योरिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू उसके साथ जा सकता है। कल हम अपने ऑफिस में ही बात कर रहे थे, मैं आपको बहुत रेलिवेंट एग्जांपल बताता हूँ। वी आर वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स फॉर HP इन इंडिया। HPE का जब भी आता है तो एक बड़ा बॉम्ब बनता है, क्या स्टोरेज चाहिए, क्या CPU, क्या स्पीड, वो पूरा एक बॉम्ब बनता है। उसमें हमारा ये डिस्कशन चला कि यार इसमें हम सिम सॉल्यूशन का भी एक बॉम्ब दे देते हैं लोगों को। हमने भेजे, बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला अरे यार क्या भाव बढ़ा दिया, हटाओ इसको यार, ये क्या बीच में डाल दिया, हमने मांगा ही नहीं था आपसे, सर्विस को ये मांगो, ए के साथ बी जबरदस्ती चिपका रहा है, ऑल ऑफ दैट, विच इज राइट। But there are some people who found value in it, and then we started doing some seminars, some discussions on it, and they started. Now that adjacency, when they are selling something which is an attack and they are getting logs out of it, very cheap, very quick, and they started building a service practice. क्योंकि कोई study करेगा, फिर client को बताएगा, client is happy, somebody is coming and telling. I don't know how many of you read just 2 days back or yesterday, I think SEBI and government has come up with all the security, cyber security, and saying SMBs के लिए बहुत difficult है, इतना पैसा SMB के पास नहीं होगा, बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी लगाएंगी। But there is a huge scope, services, और वो खुद नहीं लगा सकता, आप लगा लीजिए सर, 100 रन करते हैं, कुछ भी रन करते हैं, आप उसको सर्विसेज देनी शुरू कर दीजिए, यू कैन मोनेटाइज, इट्स अ गुड प्ले। But I'm telling you, look into some stickiness where that customer becomes dependent on you. So whether you take, data side, you take AI side, you take cyber security, you take storage, you take compute, we can keep on adding. I think all of them are talking. NVIDIA is doing on the hardware side. All the brands are doing something on their product side as well. But most important is find some stickiness. And all of you, I know some of you do managed services, some of you do professional services as well. But I can tell you, I am coming across some people, and honestly, I was thinking and talking. I had a meeting today morning, 1-hour meeting in this hotel with somebody in the morning on a business session. I found very interesting that there are guys. I met a company in Pune, and just a services company, and they've just been bought by a very large American company, very large valuation, and they do just one brand and services of that brand. And they become their 200 crore company, service company, but very niche area, but services, application modernization, application security, any kind of customization on a platform, cloud platform they can do. So I would, and we can get into more details. This may not be the right platform, but I'm just trying to invigorate your minds that look at something which creates stickiness and you should have some skill sets. We can discuss some business models, get the right talent, build up small. Once you start cracking, I will see that customers won't be able to leave you. They will remain around you. They will start getting more and more with you, and bottom lines will become far stronger. I think I spoke too long, but that's okay.
Really, thank you, Atulji. I think he really deserves a real big round of applause. I think he set the ball rolling, but I want to talk a little bit about the landscape. I mean, where are we operating? India is a country with 136 crore Aadhaar card holders, which is data. So he talked about data. And it's got 120 crore internet users, second largest in the world. Mobile subscribers, 114 crores. These are very large numbers. And e-commerce users, 80 crores. They're very extremely large numbers. Smartphone users, 65 crores. And a lot of data, as you know, goes through the smartphones, and therefore the use of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, etc. OTT users, we come to the entertainment segment, 50 crore OTT users. Social media users, 40 crores. UPI users, which is a very big success in India, 30 crores, and so on and so forth. Now, even in the learning business, the digital learning is 9.3 crores, nearly 10 crores. So we are operating in a very large landscape, which has its own challenges and which has its own sort of issues as we go forward. I must thank Atulji. He described very well the difference between the agentic AI and the generative AI. And he said, we have to play with our own strength. It doesn't make a difference where you start, small or big, but you must start at the right place. And with this, I'd like to request Mr. Rajesh Goenka, CEO of the company, to say his points on these subjects. Thank you, sir.
So first of all, let me congratulate Swapan Roy for having the event in Mumbai and on a Saturday. I think it's not easy. Doing an event in Bombay, honestly, is one of the most difficult, and that too on a Saturday. So at Rashi Peripherals, what we believe is what we practice. What you preach is what you practice. So Rashi Peripherals was one of the first companies in India to implement SAP almost 21 years back. And during the COVID times, that was about 4 years back, we upgraded our SAP to SAP HANA. Being a medium-sized, publicly listed distribution company, our volumes are immense. We have thousands of invoicing, dispatches every day. So implementing SAP and upgrading to SAP HANA actually helped us to get to the next level of scale. But it did not stop there. Last 2 years, we also implemented CRM. And we also decided to implement, typically Salesforce is the most common name that vendors use for CRM. But being a distribution company, we decided to go for C4C, which is again a SAP CRM. So today, all our 500 salespeople in 52 towns of India are on CRM of SAP only. And they have live data of the price list, inventory across all the 68 branch offices, and they can do everything and anything on the CRM. So this is what we have implemented, what I am sharing with you. As far as VAD is concerned or system integration is concerned, there are 4 or 5 pillars. One is our traditional hardware. Second is traditional software. Third is cyber security, I think Atul aptly mentioned. Fourth is networking. And fifth is AI. Today at Rashi Peripherals, we have separate verticals for all these 5 solutions or product lines. And all these 5, they merge together with each other to provide a complete solution to our potential customers. So my piece of send to each one of you present, the SIs here, while the OEMs will become more focused, one OEM will give only software, one OEM will give only cyber security, one OEM will give only hardware. But as a system integrator, we have to get into all these 5 together. then only we will be able to get into a complete solution selling for our customers, one, and then only we will be getting into the stickiness of the customer. I honestly don't believe that to grow your business you should run for identifying new verticals and new customers. वो एक natural है, वो होता रहेगा. But I strongly believe that same customer, if we are able to provide all the 5 pillars, including the AI, I think the revenue, the profitability, the growth, all together without too much of stress, without too much of risk, without too much of investment will come in our way. What from Rashi Paris, what we can do is all these 5 verticals that we have, we can guide you. Our teams can implant training to your respective teams individually, and then at the leadership level, again, you can have a merging, and then you can go and offer these solutions to your customers. Of course, managed services, professional services is the 6th and the 7th pillar of your success, sustainability, and profitability.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goenka. I think he deserves a very big round of applause. So he has unlocked the way you should go, which is very interesting. He identified the 5 nuggets of the value-added distribution and how the role of SIs will be to leverage these 5 aspects. And he said a very important thing: don't go around anywhere. Go to your own customer and keep mining the customer. Give him better solutions, which means better margin for you. Give him a wider range of solutions, which means again you are expanding the market and grow in that manner. Thank you, Mr. Goenka. I think it was a very nice insight. Now I go to my friend Mr. Devraj Dham, who is the Chief of Ad Distribution, Supertron, big company, and I would request him to tell us a little bit about. There's a very fine line between value-added distribution SIs. You know, a lot of roles get sometimes super emerged with the other one. So talk about that as well as whatever his experiences in his companies. So over to you.
Yeah. First of all, I congratulate Sopan and teams, NCN teams to host this event in Bombay. And I think Atul has very nicely mentioned about the value, and he's talked about the Hindi में बोल सकते हैं कि नहीं. So quickly I wrote one poem which is basically very relevant to the value added distribution point. So it's called ग्राहक, पार्टनर एंड AI का रिश्ता. ग्राहक तुम हो केंद्र हमारे, जरूरत तुम्हारी, दिशा हमारी. पार्टनर तुम हो साथी हमारे, मिलकर ही हम आगे बढ़ पाते हैं. और फिर आया AI, एक नया सहायक, डेटा और एल्गोरिदम का संगम. ग्राहक की पसंद को ये समझाते हैं, पार्टनर के साथ मिलकर समाधान बनाते हैं. AI ने राह का आसान बनाया, ग्राहक और पार्टनर को और करीब लाया. ये रिश्ता आप त्रिकोणी बन गया है, विश्वास और नवाचार से ये गहरा हो गया है. ग्राहक की संतुष्टि, पार्टनर की सफलता और AI का बुद्धिमत्ता तीनों मिलकर एक नए युग का निर्माण करते हैं जहां हर कोई जीतता है. So with this small,
He has integrated the marriage between SI and value-added distributor, and he has said the success is like any other marriage, how we interact and work together. Over to you, sir.
yeah. So with that, I just want to say that as Sukanta is taking, Supertron as a group is almost 34 years old organization. We started our journey in 1993. But after we are on the retail distributions till 2014, 16, 15, then we thought that the market is emerging. The space is, retail is moving to the online business. So market is on the service industry and enterprise industry. So with that concept, we started our journey in 2019 as a value-added distributions with a very focused new technology area where we focused on. So we talked about AVS, that is audio video surveillance. A lot of people ask me, audio video का साथ surveillance का क्या link है? But अगर as a partner, if you go to the customer, अगर आप video surveillance, CCTV surveillance camera बेच रहे हो without knock and sock centers, you cannot monitor anything, and they are AV play roles. That's why we called as a AVS. Then we talked about the data center and storage, and then we have a third technology vertical called cloud and applications. So if you see, as Atul and Rakesh has talked about, that integrations, the customer is very, very important. Every customer today is changing their landscapes in the technology. Now, before COVID, if you see on the audio video segments, before COVID, very few organizations, handful of MNCs or maybe good corporate is using their boardroom conference and all big branders there. But after COVID, now our kids, which is a 5 years old or 6 years old, going to the schools or college, they know better than us how to operate the video conferencing, how to create a link in Zoom or Team or Google's. So that's a technology transformations, right? So AV play a major role. Similarly, surveillance cannot be in a one side. We put the CCTV camera if you are not monitoring, and if it is not using as a predictable scenario, it's just a camera. It's just a static things. It cannot predict. So surveillance is required basically for your predictability that what is threat is coming. It's on the physical security. Similarly, on the cyber security, similar things. Everybody using different platforms in cyber security. So I have not seen till now in my 35 years of experience that any one single OEM can provide the entire landscape of cyber security. There's a different components on it. So it's required a lot of solutions to stitch and give it to partner and their customers. I give you a very classic examples, medical operation theater, OT. Lot of partner probably working on the customers on the hospitality or the hospital industry. And if you see that we heard about the robotics operation and all, but in OT, whether it's in the medical industry, in the medical grade camera which is required on the operation theater, where Government of India Ayush Ministry has come up with a guideline after COVID that they should use the medical grade camera in the operation theater. I give you a very classic example, and we are proud that we are helping on the Operation Sindoor in such scenario, where one of the soldier got bullet injury in the base camp, and they cannot take that soldier to the main hospitals in nearby because the life is critical and only nurse is available on that space. And the doctors, the surgeons sitting in the headquarters in Safdarjung hospitals, given a online video through our camera, the operation and guiding the nurse how to operate and save that soldier. So it's not related to only technology, it's related to the use cases. I give you another use cases. Recently I was discussing with one of the large group of the medical hospital chain, and they are using the telemedicine projects through one of our partners. And during the discussion, the group owner is saying that lot of nowadays the HHNI or very high profiles, the family, their kids are staying abroad. They are not in India. And they want to provide the better medical treatment to their parents if anything happened in India, because they cannot take them to the, whether in outside India immediately. So they are ready to pay 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs kind of a fees to take their doctors, which is available in US, is the best doctor in US, during the operation to give the consulting to the Indian doctors. So it's a use cases, right? So that is saying that if you can see that use cases in the multi-specialty hospitals, and if you make one single room operation theater with a ready with a AI medical grade operation solutions which can transform the communication and do the both the doctor can communicate with a better manner with a clarity of the videos or the operation or the patients, it gives a two operations give them the cost recovery. So that kind of things is coming up. Second thing is, I think everybody talked about, I touch upon the one point is the sustainability and the CSR. Now everybody knows that it's a government guideline that sustainability becomes a major focus from the government of India as well as globally. Similarly, the CSR, 2% CSR activity is all corporate have to pay CSRs. But government has given a lot of schemes on that. Now compute, we talked about the compute, okay, power management. Now the power management, which is basically we all large organization using thousands of laptops or more than that in the branches and all. We are using the networking component, we are using the many other components. But the major cost, the operation cost of the organization is the power. And it's every day or month or year is going up. How we can make it more sustainability. There's an agent is available. It's Make in India agent is available, which can basically create the insight of the computer or the ecosystem or the data centers and reduce your power consumptions by 30 to 40% kind of scenario. And SBI is the classic examples where they have deployed this solution almost 1 lakh their ecosystem edge compute scenario, and it's on their annual reports that they are able to save almost 2.8% of their gross turnover, which is a huge in terms of the profitability. So sustainability is a very critical space, and I think we are there to support our partner to help to their customers how it works more than. Thank you.
Hello. Mr. Debraj, thank you very much. You touched upon some very critical points. You brought out the fact that the audio-video surveillance mechanism can be used in so many industries. And you brought out a very important fact that after COVID, which was an unfortunate incident, the age group of people using mobile devices have come down. There are 4 and 5 year olds, no problem, know how to use the mobile phone better than somebody like me. So I think that's a very important factor because the age group has come down. So younger people are getting into this technology through the mobile interface. Your example on medical dynamics of doing operations overseas, remote operation, robotic operation, this is amazing because that is an area where a lot of value-added distributors, SI people, etc., can get involved in that ecosystem. Where I stay in Delhi, next to it, there's a very large hospital, which is a well-known brand, international brand, run by private equity companies in Singapore, is the Max Hospital. They have about 20 operation theaters, and roughly 10 are robotics, full-time robotics. And I go there for my own this thing. I know some extremely senior doctors, head of departments and all that, who I was speaking to him, and he says, no, we do a lot of surgery on robotics, and we are anything which is kind of non-routine, we just put it on robotics. A couple of months back, a friend of mine rang me up and said that he wants to go for a knee surgery. So he was asking me, this hospital has asked me to do robotic knee surgery. So I said, I am not an expert in it and I have not done my. He said, your sister got it done. How? I said, that was manual, that was in Calcutta. But I don't know. That means that all these things which Mr. Debraj talked about is a reality on the ground. And how you build that up through your ecosystem is vain. But the most important thing which he talked about is sustainability. Because with all these resources we are using up, I told you the landscape of India, we are a large company with a large number of users. Now, sustainability is important, and power is one dimension which he talked about, and how you can reduce up to 30 to 40%. How power management, your SI and value-added distributor can help in the power management and bring down the costs, sometimes as high as 8 to 10% of the turnover. Thank you so much. We are, of course, running short of time.
No, that's okay. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
We'll just take a minute to pause, please, because we want to welcome someone really special, our chief guest for the day. So, yeah, just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be here any moment.
Who is coming?
Any guesses?
Pravinji is coming? No, acha, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Also, at the sound console, when I announce the name, please keep some music ready. Sir would know. All right, I think they're here. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our very own Srimati Poonam Mahajan, ex-MP, and Mr. Rajesh Mehta, ex-corporator. Can we have a huge round of applause, everyone there, for our chief guest? Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, for being a part of this. And now, can we have a zordar taaliyan ho jaye ek baar, please, everyone? Welcoming them here. And now, over to the moderator. Please take it forward. Thank you.
No, not at all. Welcome, madam. And we are very glad that you have come. We just started this very interesting first panel discussion which is going on. So we will continue with this. And now that madam is here, some more new insights from you, Atulji. We have got the discussion pretty warmed up, and we have covered, I don't know, maybe 25 industries, I just don't know, including the medical industry, the remote surgery industry, the robotics management in medical hospitals, etc., the sustainability, which I think people should talk a little bit more about, because our resources on the earth are limited, and we have to go on using less and less resources for getting better and better results. That's what sustainability is all about. And as you all know, the top 1,000 companies of the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange, both are based here primarily, they have to now submit compulsorily from this year. 3 years back it was kind of voluntary, the business response and sustainability response report every year there, along with the balance sheet, when they make the balance sheet. I've gone through the report. It's a 30-page huge document. It's very complex to fill up, and it covers all aspects of the company. It covers HR, technology, supply chain management, manufacturing facilities, blah, 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 sales, marketing, etc., etc. So in short, what I'm trying to say is sustainability is becoming so important that the government of India is going wholehearted behind it. They're starting with the top 1,000 companies. Other companies are voluntary, but there'll be sooner or later they will come to companies of MSME. And in any way, it is better to do sustainability, because sustainability is not adding to cost; it's rather helping you build a better tomorrow with lesser cost. Over to you, sir.
No, I think. Thank you, Mr. Sukanta. And now that ma'am is here, you would see that all of us contribute. There are leaders who contribute bigger and more. So good that we have representation from them as well. We have been discussing a lot of technology advancements in the industry, and I know government is also in the forefront in many areas, which we touched, in fact, almost all. We didn't talk about something, but I'll touch now one more interesting topic. We all know what happened in Operation Sindhu. Drones became the new game, correct? And you would see the logistics industry, even in our country, you would see that tremendous subsidies which is coming from the government for promoting, for even spraying pesticides in the fields, So you hire a drone and there's a significant subsidy, and you want to do survey of highways, whether people used to go and figure it out, the railway lines and highways. Today all these surveys are being done by drones. So I think government is playing a very strong role in providing impetus to that industry. You would see a lot of that advancement happening in the logistics industry as well, which is what we call couriers and transporters, which today you find Zomato guy coming on a scooter, you'll find a drone coming and dropping a pizza at your home. So you would see how things are rapidly changing, and government is taking steps. You are also seeing a lot of advancements in the whether I call EVs or I call driverless vehicles, or I call more and more, you see Tesla coming into India, you see more and more advancements happening on that stage as well. But you would find everything is embedded around IT or IoT. Even that you talk driverless cars, they work basis IoT, all the signals, the database, the internet stuff. You would see the technology is coming to your house more and more. You'd see the industrialists talking, you see what Ambanis are doing, Adanis are doing, making, whether we spoke about Netflix users or we spoke about internet at home. So you're talking thin client PCs at home doing everything. Your TV is turning into computers and doing everything job for you remotely. So I think the technology is coming more and more to your space. It's up to us that how we use it. And we touched a lot upon a lot of industry practices in what we can do and take it ahead. I think the gentleman here touched on AR and VR, which is augmented reality and virtual reality as well. I think that's another interesting space which is coming up, HoloLens and those Google glasses, and you will see a lot of stuff. Facebook is coming, launching. There's some companies which are launching there as well. That space is going to again go in a big way, because remote management, using data, using your history and operating on you. I came to know something where government went in a hyper mode, where All India Institute's data got hijacked by a Chinese cyber security guy, and you would know that who's using a hard pacer here, and remotely if you can take the pace up, the person can die, because you can start doing, but data is becoming important. So all the hospitals, we talk any industry today, from a security point of view, and as the AI goes up, you would find the attacks will also go up, correct? Because they are also going to use the AI to increase attacks. Vice versa, I mean, you have to keep on making your system more robust and all. So I think there are many areas. You will see all governments. One of my very close childhood friend, he's a principal secretary in Rajasthan, but you'll see all the governments today doing their own data centers. They are establishing data centers. They are doing a lot of e-seva models and e-service models, and you go onto this website and do all that, and a lot of stuff is becoming very convenient. But I think what I try to tell you here is people are focusing on services, whether it's a data center, which is cloud, whether they are services I was speaking about. SMBs can't do, you set up a service for them and do a SOC based service. But I think look at the service industry, which is a sweet sauce, and this sweet sauce is trying to solve some problem of your end customer. If you can solve that problem, stickiness will go up. That's a single message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Atulji. I think you again hit on the point that work on your strengths, and stickiness is very, very important. And there's no doubt that there's a very wide range of industries one can get into. You talked about electric vehicles, which again is sustainability. You talked about all the remote services like the drone systems and all that, and the back end is all both system integrator and value-added distribution play. Now I would like to request Mr. Rajesh Goenka, CEO of Rashi Peripherals, to talk a little bit about, he did a very important thing. He said, go on mining the same customer, use those first five verticals of value-added distribution, roll that on, build your business around that. Keep it simple and straightforward, and you'll be able to do a large amount of business. And I request him to talk about that and any other topic.
So first of all, let me again thank you and congratulate the government of India, because she's here. She's been part of the government with the GST rationalization. I think one round of applause to the BJP government and Poonam ji and government of India. Our only, madam, आप सुन नहीं रहे हो मेरी बात? अच्छा, हम मेरा अभी विश आने वाला था. मैंने पहले तो कंग्रेचुलेट किया कि आपने बहुत अच्छा GST का एक्शन लिया है. और उसके बाद वाला पॉइंट ये है कि आईटी इंडस्ट्री, अच्छा हाँ, लेकिन उसका अगला पॉइंट ये है कि आईटी इंडस्ट्री पहले से ही 18 पे थी, सबकी विश लिस्ट थी कि वो 5 पे आ जाए, लेकिन 18 की 18 रह गई है देखिए, सबके दिल की बात बोल रहा हूँ So I think I touched upon what we practice is what we preach. I also touched upon the 5 pillars of business which will improve business profitability and growth, all 3, right? And you are all entrepreneurs here, right? So while these 5 pillars will give you growth, profitability, sustainability, stickiness, everything, what we practice, again, earlier I said SAP practice, now I am saying another practice that we do as Rashi Peripherals. We have developed a laboratory in Bangalore. It's about 4,000 square feet of laboratory where anyone and everyone, including students, small corporates who do not have the resources in terms of equipments or hardware knowledge or software knowledge, we provide them free of cost. They can do the modeling, they can do the testing, and once the prototype is ready, then they can go and promote to their respective customers. So similarly, my piece of 2 cents to each one of the entrepreneurs who are present here is that you should also have a small wing or small team or a part of the resource, maybe 5% or 10%. जैसे इन्होंने बोला CSR में आज 2% मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट है, वैसे ही आप सब एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को भी करना चाहिए कि एक छोटा सा वर्टिकल बनाओ जहाँ पे वो स्टार्टअप वर्टिकल हो, जिसमें आप आपके एम्प्लॉयज़ को, आपके कस्टमर्स को इनकरेज करो कि वो वहाँ पे कुछ कंसेप्चुलाइज करें, कुछ वो डेवलप करें, उनको थोड़ा बहुत आप रिसोर्स दो. उससे क्या होगा, उसमें जो बिजनेस जनरेट होगा, दैट अगेन बिजनेस इज गोइंग टू बी बिग फॉर अस, बट बिग फॉर यू. इफ इट स्टिक्स, अगर क्लिक हो गया, then that business can be bigger than your existing business also. It can give you very high valuations also. It can give you very high rewards also. In fact, अतुल said that, तो मेरे मन में आया तो मैं बताता हूँ. मेरा बेटा है, वो यहाँ पे बैठा है, इनफैक्ट लास्ट सीट पे छुप के. His name is Dhruv. He has done his masters in automobile engineering from Kingston University and Bath University in UK. He's also got global awards for making Formula race cars and so on and so forth. But the point I want to drive is that after doing so much, he eventually decided to come to India, and he's part of a startup in IIT Bombay developing robotics for farming applications. Dhruv, he's shy. The point I'm saying is that this kind of startups is what we should all encourage as entrepreneurs, which obviously has to have a business value also. हम कोई चैरिटी पे हम लोग इंडियंस काम नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन थोड़ी सी अगर एनर्जी ये 5 पिलर पे हम लगाएंगे तो हमारी ग्रोथ, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आएगी. उसका थोड़ा सा मार्जिन अगर हमने वहाँ पे किया तो हमारा बिजनेस ग्रोथ एक्सपोनेंशियल भी हो सकता है, और इंडस्ट्री को, इंडिया को, कंट्री को हम एक वैल्यू एडिशन भी दे सकते हैं. दिस इज माई पीस ऑफ सेंस टू यू.
I'll just small point I add to what Rajesh said, and this is just a corollary to he touched the robotics piece. There's an Indian company which Prime Minister took along just 6 months back as one of the largest startups. IIT Bombay guy started 10 years back and one of the largest startups now in India on robotics. He went with Prime Minister in Austria and many countries. Their product is available only in one type of stores in India, Hamleys. It's a robot, but it connects with the kids very emotionally. It can play I Spice, hide and seek with the kids. It can do all of that stuff. It talks. It's far more than your Alexa and all of that stuff. And it is Miko. She's right. Ma'am is talking. So Miko is the name of the product. But now it's making waves. By the way, they got funded now for $150 million for that startup. It's an Indian startup and growing very strong. And they've now got a product which is called Chessboard. And it's a physical chessboard where the robot plays with you. You move and he moves, and you move and he moves. So you know, वो घोड़ा मैंने देखा कैसे चलता है, तो physically ऐसे बीच में से चल के ढाई चलता है वहाँ पे, and you know, it plays so beautifully. And you have beginners to GM level kind of stuff. So robotics is another interesting area. Just touching on.
Coincidentally, we are helping this company Miko for last 2 years. In fact, his co-founder is also a mentor to my son. It's Miko.
Thank you very much. Now I'd request Mr. Debraj to give his closing comments on this whole this thing, and to talk a little bit more about, if he can, in addition to whatever others comment on sustainability, because that I think is a very key, that why we can't use these technologies on sustainability. And I have two very small points. Innovation can only come from startups, and this was highlighted by Mr. Goenka. It can only come from startups, because startup means you're doing something new. And for this is particularly for Mr. Dhruv, that one of the icons in the management industry in the 1950s and 60s was a guy whom all of you know, called Peter Drucker. And he wrote the first book of management called The Age of Discontinuity. That is actually a book on management and social sciences. And his last sentence in that book is very interesting. He says, in an enterprise means anything. It can be a social enterprise, business enterprise. There are only two functions. There's no HR, no supply man, according to him. The first function is marketing. What he means is business development. And second function is innovation. Innovation in HR, innovation in supply chain, innovation in all things. So he says in an enterprise there are only two functions. Startup is innovation, So innovation and marketing. These are the two functions. So with that in mind, we have to grow this business, which we are all doing. We are doing innovation, we are doing marketing, which is business development, Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So I think sustainability, and you talking about the innovations and all, I think Government of India is very, very focused for this content of Make in India. It's not related to only the hardware or only on the software, but every aspects of the life is government is focused on. I was very closely working with Major Lieutenant General Dr. Dattaraj Setkar, who was also the defense advisory to the Prime Ministers, our honorable Prime Ministers, and we discussed 8 years back is that cyber security threat and war without the ammunitions, and which is currently on the reality. So as Atul is talked about is that this war or anything is there, you can go to the any of the equipments, OT equipments, that is the operation equipments, whether it's in the defense or any city or the municipality, just enter on their systems, block that system to operate and punch the virus, and you can do the reverse. So I just give you examples of the municipality. Now the swaraj is basically run on the operations, right? Think that if somebody hack on your swaraj control room and push back the entire swaraj to the reverse, right? Everything is go for a toss, right? So cyber security is, as I talked about earlier also, the Indian minds, and the government is putting a lot of energy on that, is that creating our own content on the cyber security. I was talking in the morning with few colleagues here that cyber security is actually a buzzword. Okay, it's a combination of many integrations. It's an integration between the compute, OT, software, AI, and next is the generative AI, what Atul is talked about. It's a combinations. Until unless we understand that stitching of these 5 pillars, will not able to reach on your cyber security point of view. I was yesterday on this room only on the cyber security forums, and we discussed and we see that India is the second largest cyber security attack in terms of the Asia regions. If you talked about the Europe and US or developed countries, they are having a 3.8 kind of a cyber security attacks, whereas in India it's more than 30%. That means we have lot to work on it, and it's possible only through our partner and the all as a community to work together and worked for the startups, Make in India scenario. The second part, what I just want to mention, defense. Okay, I think you talked about operations, right? Operation Sindoor, I talked about that, how we helped the soldier in Operation Sindoor. Similarly, if you talked about that, after that, the drone attack happened in the Operation Sindoor. Okay, India is also having a drone. We are able to counter the entire drone. But the entire initiative, I think ma'am is probably knowing Dr. Ajay Kumar, who was the Defense Secretary previously and now the chairman of UPSC. We worked together on that couple of scenario where he took the initiative of the innovation in the defense. And now you see the defense have the innovation labs and lot of, I'll say, the scenario which is faced, which we procured from the earlier from the different countries abroad. Now it's built by us, our Indian new generation systems, and the technology is robust. Take an example of a Aadhaar also. If you see on a Aadhaar kernel, it's still not able to hack by anybody, but database hack or something is hacked, but the kernel, which is so robust, which is developed by the Indians, okay, and they, if you go to their data center where the kernel is there on the Aadhaar, it's a tier 3 data center without cooling, without power management. That's the way India built the data centers can be. So we are here to support all the partner ecosystems, all the end customer ecosystems to support, grow together and sign together for India to be a developed country because it's Bharat. Thank you.